Hello, hello, hello. It's Crafty Chris here again for another one of our Thursday night Scrap Your Scraps. This one is one to use up some of if you have powdered um, uh, watercolor powder or pixie powder or any of those powders. So we are going to do a layout with a little bit of powder in it. And I've asked you to have some washi tape that is low tack, and 3 colors is probably good enough for this project. And I have my inspiration photo here. I'll show you how I use that. Some water and a couple of paintbrushes, 1 inch, and just a small rounded paintbrush. And that's about it for now. And then we'll move on to the layout once we've got this part of the process done and dried. All right, so I have, first of all, a little bit of talk about copyright. Okay, so I have here an image that is not my own image. It is somebody else's image, and I am not using this image verbatim. It's only an inspiration for me, and I feel comfortable using it to inspire my work. However, I had to print it for you to be able to see what the image was that I'm working with. So I'm working with an image that has two dandelions and some blowing away things. So this is going to be the image that I'm getting inspired from in order to create my splash background. So I'm going to put that aside because it isn't officially part of what I'm doing here. It's just my inspiration for what I'm doing here. So copyright, you do not want to use anything verbatim. It is not acceptable just to change it slightly either words. So you want to be careful that you're not infringing on someone else's copyright. Okay, so what I'm going to do here now, and I think I'm going to move my camera back just a little so you can see everything. There we go. Okay, I am going to mat or stick down my white paper, and I'm going to mat the edge. So when I put my tack down, I want to have it about 1/4 of an inch across from side to side. About, like, we don't have to measure it exactly. I just want to keep the paper flat because I am going to be putting a lot of water on it, and I am going to be drying it quickly so we can do the technique. So in order to keep things flat and from having them curl up and become a problem, I'm just going to mat it. The other thing it does is it helps to create a bit of a border, because I don't really want to have my color go off the page necessarily. I'd like it to kind of stay in the screen. So I'm creating this border by using low tack tape. I have some old washi tape that I use up. So that's another thing you can use on this project is washi tape. And I'm just eyeballing that 1/4 of an inch. I just want to make sure that I've got it covered. All right. So that I don't get anything on that 1/4 inch border all the way around. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm using powdered watercolors. There's different products for this. There's pixie dusts. There's powdered pigments. There's all kinds of different things. Right now, these are a Ken Oliver product, but I know that they come in different products. What you want to do before you get started is, because they settle, you want to shake them up a little bit. And you always start with your lightest color first, because you want to make sure that you don't end up with a overall black. Some bottles are very tricky to use depending on how they're designed. I know that Ken Oliver has redesigned his bottles so that they're easier to use and there isn't anything getting stuck in the hinge that is right here. but I just tap it onto the paper. That's how I manage it. So if I look at my image, I'm going to have two very large spots, and you only need a little tiny bit of watercolor, and then I'm just going to tap a little bit here and there, not necessarily a whole lot of color. And then the magic happens when you wet it. Now there's a couple of ways to wet it. You can really spritz hard. If you do that, you're going to drive the water powder behind a water thing all over the place. So you just want to lightly, without, and I'm just using regular cardstock so that you know what's going on there. Okay, so that's my base for what I'm doing here. Now, there's a couple of techniques you can use. I like using a straw. You can have one of those things that you squish and it blows air, but I like to use a straw. So how you use a straw to show direction and move things is you blow behind the ink in the direction you want it to go. If you want it to go pew, like a bomb hit it, then you're going to go down on top. So that's what I'm going to do with these big ones. And so now you can start to see that shape that I'm trying to build to create the dandelion. The others I'm just going to lightly Okay, so I'm going to dry this now because I want to now build on this and create another layer of yellow to fill in the circular pattern. And then I'm going to add in some green and some purple just to give it some depth. So all you're going to do is just do some air drying until you get it so that it's not super wet. We don't really want to have puddles. Okay, so I have it mostly dried. Now I want to keep the heat in here, so I'm going to now add some more water or some more powder in that area. And keeping the heat, I mean like keeping the color. And I'm going to leave what's going on out there. And I'm going to water down that ink, let it set for a minute. Now I'm using regular cardstock and it is bubbling up. You could use watercolor paper or a heavy denser cardstock or a media cardstock. You could do any of those things. I prefer to if I know I'm going to be layering with paper products, I just use a regular cardstock because it doesn't really matter once it's in the page protector. It doesn't, it holds it all flat anyway. So I'm not going to worry about if it buckles or anything because I'm building on top of it. Okay, so from the top down again. There we go. I like what's going on there. There we go. Beautiful! Okay, and then we're just going to dry that out. All right, so now I'm going to add some green in, and this I'm going to control a little bit because I want it to be like leaves. So we're going to start with the stem. Oh, there we go. I guess that will be, and I'm just going to spread that out a little bit because I don't want it to be too much green. And I'm going to have them just come together at the bottom. Now, we have to carefully add the green water to the green. Okay. And this time I'm going to use a little bit of a brush, and I'm just going to tamp the brush. I'm not going to blow, just going to tamp the brush. So it's a little bit of a watercolory look, and just bring out some of that powder. All right, so there we go, and this now is going to need to be cleaned, and it will come out easily with water and soap later. And we're going to just dry that. Lots of drying. And you'll see that your green has all kinds of different colors in it. And as you dry it, you'll see browns and blues. Alrighty, now make sure that's nice and dry. So now we're going to add a little bit of purple, and make sure you shake it up so it's kind of broken up. And the purple, I'm just going to add tiny, tiny, tiny bits. So I'm going to add a little bit there, a little bit there, like literally just little tiny bits. And then here, I'm going to add a fair little bit into the center. Oops. All right, and I'm going to add a tiny bit of water. And I want to control some of this color. So this is starting to dissipate. Okay, I think I need a little more water here. I've got enough action happening. There we go. A little more water here. All right. Okay. So I'm going to stop there and just dry this last little bit out. Okay, and I really want to tone down the purple that's happening here, so I can do that easily enough by adding some more yellow on there. So you can do layers. Alrighty. And that just kind of gives it a bit of a toning. And I think what I want to do is get my green brush, and I'm going to put some water on my desktop and just get the green out of it. Whoa, look at that. Somehow I ended up with yellow on there. That's the thing about the powdered stuff, is that you can find it everywhere, so you have to be very careful when you're using it. There we go. I'm just going to clean this brush as good as I can. And while I have some water, I'm going to pick up some of this water and just brush it in the background. It's kind of a purpley pinky color. Oops, got some. I'm going to add some water to this. And just keep picking up some of that yellowy, pinky water, and we're just brushing that into the background. And take some of the stuff from the side. Just really water it down so there's nothing really. So you don't have too many streaks, and the stuff can be watered down right on the page. There we go. So you just have sort of this painterly background. So now you're no longer white. You are a pinky, fleshy, purpley kind of color. So we're going to dry this completely. Okay, so now we're done with our powders. Make sure that you always keep the caps on these powders, because if they spill, it's very hard to see the dust, and you could end up with the dust on your mat or anywhere. Look at, so you can see the color that my mat is turning, because there's some residue dust on there. So I just want to make sure I get that all off. And just one more round, and I can put the water aside now. There we go. There we go. All right, now when we're taking this off, we're going to take the tape off. The tape goes immediately into the garbage because it has ink and residue dust on it. So you want to make sure you have your garbage close to you. And if you have a paper towel that looks like this, hang on to it, because you can use that in your junk journals. So I don't throw anything away. All right, so let's start to remove the tape gently. And we're pulling to the side, to this side on here, to that side there, towards the bottom here, towards the top there. If we pull it this way, we could take the surface of the painting off, and we just want to pull it to the side. So even if we do take a bit of the paper surface, it's going to not affect our border. We're going to have a nice border there. And like I said, this goes right into the garbage. And of course you're going to take, I don't know why I wrapped this around here, but you're going to take care pulling that off. I know how this tape works, so it's pretty good. I don't really get much of a tear with it, but still have to pull it off in the right direction. There we go. And the border is not so obvious, but it is there. You can see it. All right, and now while you have the garbage can, you're going to tap your image into the garbage can to get any residue, leftover, unwatered down ink off your paper. And then you're set to go. Okay? So now we're going to look at where we want to put some photos. So, and this is dependent on what you like and what you don't like on your photo. I'm a little unhappy with how this turned out. I mean, it's beautiful for some things, but I wasn't really looking for that kind of effect so much up there as I wanted to have more of an effect here. So I can do a 3x3 there. Let me see, I might do a 4x4. Because I do really love this part of what's going on down here. I could do a 4x4. I can even go bigger, actually. Now that I'm looking at this, I think I'll try a 4x6 up there. See if I can put that maybe vertically. 4x6. Beautiful. Yeah, I think I like the 4x6. So we're going to do a 4x6 there. And I think that's it. I might do a little extra something down here just to balance the two pieces. So let me get these back. 4x4 and a 3x3.5 by 3.5. All right. So I'm liking what I see on here. Okay. So that's going to be my 4x4. So I'm going to put some double-sided tape, which I happen to have many pieces of sitting here because I never throw those out. If I have them, I use them and reuse them. There we go. Until they don't stick anymore, of course. All right, so my 4x6, I think I'm going to have a little bit of purple showing. There we go. All right. There we go. I need a title, so I'm looking through my words to see if I can find anything. Let's see. I have some interesting words here. Now, do I want black? Black going to be, no, I think I want to go with the gold color. Let's see what I have in gold. I have happy, cute, and best ever. Favorite. I love you. Hello, lovely. Maybe. Happy. Maybe. I'm finding it hard these days to find nice big words. Favorite. I don't really like that color. It's kind of a coppery color, and it doesn't really go with the yellows so much. And what do I have here? The good stuff. So if I spread that out, maybe, and say cheese. Don't really like the pink. Don't really like the turquoise, but maybe the good stuff. And then I have some pieces of paper that have titley bits on them that I could probably add if I wanted to. All right. I have your story. These are a little too small, I think. Yeah. And they're very angular. And what else do I have? These are very fine. But I might be able to pull something out of these as an additional thing. So look at that after. And what else do I have? I have these. Sometimes these work out. They are vellum words, vellum titles, something like that. No problem. Nah. Grooviness. That's kind of fun. Hilarious note. So sweet. That's the problem. What's up? Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. No worries. Nah. Kicking. Peace out. Divine. Nah. Rock on. Like the idea of keeping the background light. For Pete's sake, no. Fine. Crazy, no. Fabulous, no. Totally wicked. Stressed out, stinky, nope. Simple, but it's blue, so it doesn't really go with anything. And I'm not finding, and that's blue. Okay, so the only thing that I think of all of these things that I thought might be okay is in the beginning there. Grooviness. Nah, you know what? I think I might. No problem. No. Nope. I'm not going for those. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to stick with these words, and I'm going to actually cut them off and align them and see what I like. I'm not going to pull them off their background. There's nothing there that I want. I'm just going to cut them from the plastic so we can see if, first of all, I like the color, if I like how it's going to play out on the page. So this is one border I'm thinking of, or one title rather, and I'm going to take stuff out of there because I don't want it to be a block. I want it to be more like, so we've got the good stuff, and then this arrow goes somewhere else. So that's one idea. Ignore these little bits. That's one idea. So I thought of maybe lovely, or favorite, or best ever. happy. Happy and cute. Happy and favorite. Happy and dream. Happy and lovely. Hello. Happy hello. No. Okay. Best happy ever. Okay, so I think I'm going to stick to favorite on this one. So I'm going to pull that one out and see if I like that. I think the black is just a little too stark. It draws your eye just to that. Now, I don't have a picture there, but you know, it may draw your eye away from the picture. So let's see if I like this instead. So there's happy, the good stuff, and then here's favorite. Now imagine that the white is all out of there. I think I like favorite better. So we are gonna take favorite. And we're gonna stick that all back in the packaging. I'll do that after. And the good stuff, I don't think I want that. All right, so I want to put favorite down here. So let's pop that off. And let's see how I want that to play out. I can play it out like that with the V on there. I think gives you more of a sense that there is a word there. Favorite. Okay, we're going to stick that down. It's an American spelling, and I'm Canadian, but I might need actually a little bit of glue for this. I'm not sure how well it will stick on the painted background, but we'll give it a shot. So there is favorite. It doesn't show as well to you on camera. I'm looking at the camera scene as it does to me in person. So that's one thing to consider. Now I did have a number of these other smaller bits, and I was thinking that, okay, I'm not liking any of the colors there. So nothing there. Now I do like the sparkle because that kind of plays in, and I just want it to be subtle. Okay, so let's take the sparkle out of this one. Sorry, this is not coming out easily. There we go. Okay, I like the sparkle. Now, these over time will get hard, so you have to be careful about how you take them off. I usually try to pop them from underneath so that I don't bend them or break them. And I just roll them over my thumb, and hopefully they don't stick too hard. And then I gently pull them off. Now I'm thinking just a little bit of sparkle. And because it's sort of like the same color, it kind of blends in. It's not the first thing you see. You'll see the photo and the favorite first, and then you'll see the sparkle. And there's a little heart there that's in the same color, so I'm going to put that down there. And this is black. I think that will show up too much. We have a little bit of this peachiness happening here. I'm wondering if I can do an arrow, or if I do a door over there, or I do fabulous. No, too many F's. I could do a door. So, because it's going right over the photo, I'm going to cut it out of this page and glue it on after I get the photo on there. So, using up my stickers, using up my powdered dyes, watercolors, whatever you want to call it. So that would just kind of go there over top of the photo. Get a little piece of repositionable tape to stick that on there so I know where it's going to go. There we go. Yeah, I'm liking that so far. And there's another heart here. There we go. Kind of blends in with the color that's happening all up here. Alrighty. Now I'm going to go in with my Wink of Stella, the clear Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to highlight parts of what's going on here. Now, Wink of Stella is a liquid, and so is your ink. So when you're doing this, you're going to have to clean it afterwards. So prime your Wink of Stella so it's nice and ready to go. There we go. Oh, that's a little too much. Okay, so I over primed it, and that is the problem. You can do that. So now I'm just going to go in and I'm going to highlight little areas. Just little stripy lines so that I get some glitter on my centers of my flowers. And I'm going to pick up some more here and do the same thing here. And it looks like it's a little bit more obvious on that side than on this side. So. And I might do a little more here. Alrighty. And then highlight a little bit. The leaves, and we're doing this all with just plain clear glitter. Okay. And a few little touches here and there. Oops. So we get the idea that things are throwing off glitter. Oops, a little too much there. So just highlighting some of those spots. To just give a little bit of highlight and some sparkle. And so you can see some interaction on the page. Okay, and that's your layout. That was a quick one tonight, but using up some things that we have in our stash that we aren't usually playing with, and you know, going from an idea that isn't necessarily our own, but making it our own by completely changing it. See, if I had used that specifically, I would have been completely running into what do you call it, copyright issues, and I took that idea and I completely made it my own for this layout. So thank you very much for joining me tonight, and I hope that I will see you next week. Bye for now.